and I'm a banker. So I have a 6-year-old, and I ended up like quitting the job that I was doing at that particular time to raise him. And at that time, it was a decision that I made up. We had made with his father that I'd be a stay-at-home mom, and I take care of my son. So it went to almost 2 years. So that's when I actually, the most suffering just started, mostly because he started taking advantage of me, or because all the time I needed something, I had to go ask him for his money, or I would ask, or just anything, whatever I wanted, because I wasn't working. So financially, I was depending on him. This took more than almost a year and a half of me trying to look for a job. And then it still continued like that. It went to another 2 years. So by the time it was a 2-year period, I didn't want to live anymore. I became extremely suicidal. So I tried the first time. It didn't work. For some reason, whenever I would go with the car really fast on one bridge, I would have the brake stop. So the second time, actually, I was with my son in the car, and I was driving. So I'm driving, and then I was actually coming from downtown to where I live. There's this long bridge, and at that time, I remember I was just driving and then crying, and all of a sudden, I just hear this voice telling me, just kill yourself. And I'm like, yeah, I will, because what am I? Who am I? I have this boy. I can't provide for him. So I'm useless. I felt completely useless. So that's when I almost actually literally hit the rock, and I had put all full speed, and I'm going to hit the rock, and I hear my son saying, "Mommy," and all of a sudden it's like, it's not. It's like I don't know, but something's not. And I realized, and then I stopped. So I dropped. Thank God the car was behind me, was a little bit far. So I go back to the lane and started driving, and I go home, and I just cried. I couldn't stop crying. The whole water thing wasn't working, so I was gonna take pills, literally. So I went out of the shower, and then I went, and then when I'm in the bedroom now, I get the call from this girl, and she was like, today you have to come to church. It doesn't matter if I'm gonna come and drive and get you out of your house, and I'm taking you to church. And I'm like, no, you're not. And then I'm like, and then I started crying, and she could hear my voice. And she was like, Kate, you have to come to church today. There's something that is going on. You don't know about it, but there's something that is going on. I know, but I cannot tell you. But you have to come to church today. So I talked to the bishop a little bit. He asked me what's wrong. And I'm like, my life is just a mess. Everything is a mess. And you guys are here praying to a God who doesn't even exist. And then he was like, how do you know that? He's like, because whenever I pray, my prayers go to the roof and they hit right down. So how is it that there's a God who listens? And I'll never forget what he told me even today. He told me, I want you to do something. I'll give you a challenge. You come here 5 Fridays and 5 Sundays nonstop. And if your life doesn't change, then there is no God. And I looked at him and I was like, definitely this man is crazy, literally crazy. But so again, that voice told me to listen. I listened, I obeyed. And then that's how my life started transforming. It wasn't immediate, but by the time it was the 5th Friday and was delivered by that time. And after that, the pastor who baptized me told me, you know that feeling? Wait until you get the Holy Spirit. And that's when you're gonna know there's actually a God. And it's so true. And I remember the bishop telling me that what God is gonna do first, he's gonna change you. He's gonna change my heart. He's gonna change me first before my surroundings. And that's exactly what happened. I did get a job with the first bank, and that's how I started getting my experience and all these things. It's like God was waiting for the right time. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. So the pastor told me, after you baptize with the Holy Spirit, you will know, because no matter what, you're going to have that joy. You're going to have the joy of talking to people, how to save somebody's souls. And I ended up joining the evangelization group where if God can do that to me, I want to, God used to use me to somebody else as well. And so now I got the Holy Spirit. I have that joy. I have the joy of wanting to talk to the whole world about that. And I give you this challenge. I will challenge you to, like the challenge that I was given, 5 Fridays and 5 Sundays. That's a chain. A chain you first go, either whichever day that you go, but you start with your first Friday. And then the next one is going to be a Sunday. You do those 5 times. And if your life don't change, go out there to the whole world and tell the world that Universal Church is fake. And say that God is a fake, because I know He's not, because I know there is a God, and I know that God is true, and God is love, and God, He's so powerful that He can actually change your life. So I give you that challenge today. If you believe that, if you're like me or even worse than me, go there and do that challenge that I've given you today. And if it doesn't happen, please come looking for me and tell me that I lied.